Coding is an amazing skill to have, although I am slightly biased being a developer. If you are just getting into coding or you want to kind of test your skills, here is a list of resources to either learn, test, or improve your coding skills. It is mainly geared towards web development, but there are a few other resources for general programming as well. In no particular order, let's dive into number one, and that is the Odin Project, or also known as TOP. This is actually what I use to learn web development myself. There are two paths: foundation and full stack with Ruby, or full stack with JavaScript. I went down the JavaScript. I am technically still doing this course. It is a very long course. So if you are going to do this, just take your time. There is no need to rush. It takes you from absolute beginner, setting everything up, learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And it is also heavily project based, which I love because you kind of have a little bit of free reign and make the projects your own, and you can then add them to your CV. It's not really tutorial based projects either. You get a list of requirements and you just got to try and build it. They're also updating this kind of frequently. So there's sections which look like I've missed them out, but I've actually just kind of gone past that and they added them in afterwards. Next up is the CS50 course provided by Harvard, all about computer science. It's 11 weeks long and it covers a variety of topics. Again, if you're brand new to coding, this is great. It goes through Scratch, C, Python, algorithms, and SQL web development. There's a lot going on, but the lectures are really well put together. I really like watching the YouTube videos they provide. The lectures are live streamed and they explained so well, definitely worth checking out. They cover a variety of topics. It's not just web development, as I say, it's a lot they go through. So yeah, I'll have everything linked in the description below for all these resources I mentioned today. Next up is Free Code Camp, again another online resource for learning development, and not just web development. They have a variety of topics. You've got data science, data analytics, you've got relational databases, front end, JavaScript, C#, coding interviews. It covers a lot. There's also a YouTube channel that has other creators provide content, so you get a wide variety of information and content there. It's not just one source, which is brilliant. I do prefer the YouTube channel over the website itself, just as a personal preference. And I've completed the web design, JavaScript front-end libraries, and also the C# course. But when I complete them, I believe JavaScript is a new one, and possibly also the web design. So there may be some changes going on there. The next resource is obviously going to be YouTube. There is so much content on YouTube, which can be kind of a double-edged sword. There's a little bit of outdated content and maybe some content which isn't that great for beginners, and you may go down a rabbit hole. I've mentioned a few already. That was Free Code Camp and CS50, but if you want some other people to check out, Kevin Powell is great with CSS. Really like his stuff. We've also got NetNinja, which covers a variety of topics, and I think he just explains things really clearly. And we've got Coder Coder, who's great for beginners, just web developer, a bit more specific there. And Design Course, I really like watching Design Course for front end kind of inspiration and techniques. Less so on the coding side, more just for the kind of how websites should look. So again, links to everyone will be down below. Number 5 is W3 Schools, Mozilla Docs, and generally just documentation. W3 Schools is a bit of like tutorials / explanations and cover a variety of languages. Really good if you just want to quickly dive into something, but maybe not going into depth. Whereas like the documentation, they give you examples as well and go into more detail. Sometimes they can be overwhelming, but they are a developer's best friend. So make sure you spend a little bit of time in the docs for whatever language you're working with. So the first 5 were more about learning, development, and coding. The next lot was kind of geared more towards practice and improving your skills. So first up is Front End Mentor. This is heavily based for web development. There's a free and a pro version available. The pro version, they give you the design files, so you don't have to do anything. But I personally quite like doing the designs in Figma because that helps me understand how things go together. But the idea is you're given this picture and you've got to replicate it for normally both mobile and desktop, which is great. There's a variety of levels. So you've got newbie, intermediate, junior, guru, expert, those types of things. Definitely worth checking out if you just want to see how well your skills are. Rather than following a tutorial, you've got to do this kind of without any guidance, which is great. Then we got CSS battles, which is very much front end. But the idea of this is to kind of practice CSS skills. You're given a picture and you've got to replicate it with HTML and CSS only. There is a score-based system and leaderboard. However, I don't really like to go down the leaderboard route because I think it encourages bad coding. The leaderboard is basically how few characters you can use to replicate this image. So I prefer to get accuracy and readability when I'm doing CSS battles. But it's great because it kind of forces you to do different techniques with CSS, so you're not always doing the same stuff. In a similar vein, we have Code Wars, but this is for kind of any programming languages. I use this a lot for practicing SQL before interviews and also JavaScript. So they, again, have different ranks. They kind of just give you an explanation of what you need to do, and then you have your solution. You can test it and things. So really, really good for practicing a few skills, and the high difficulties are very difficult. Next up, we've got projects, and I'm just going to go over my GitHub. I have loads of projects on my GitHub, which I think's amazing. Projects are such a fun and exciting way to test your skills, and you also figure out where you're lacking, really. And if you're making projects, you're kind of excited about it. It makes the coding a little bit easier, in my opinion. Like, you can sit down and enjoy it a lot more. So finding a personal project that you're excited about will definitely help your coding skills. You'll also come across issues where you then have to understand the issue and convert that to normal speech, in a sense, to Google the solution, or use Stack Overflow, ChatGPT, any kind of thing like that. But you need to be able to explain your problem as well, which is a really great skill to have. Let me know if you're struggling for any project ideas, and I can make a video on a list of really good projects you can work on. And then we have a bit of a weird one. That is recording yourself explaining the topic you're learning. And I know recording yourself can be really scary at times. Nobody has to see it. It's for yourself. It's just kind of a way to see if you can explain something clearly and coherently. Really good for interview techniques as well. Practice recording yourself so you can give answers like fluidly. But for development specific, try to explain a topic. And personally, I would say explain it with using as little jargon as possible, or technical terms. I feel like if you are relying on using the technical terms to explain something, then you don't really understand it. So you should try to explain it as if you're explaining it to a 5-year-old, for example. For bonus resources, check out web-based games. There's a lot out there which can help you with development. Here is a few I've just got up on the screen now. We've got Flexbox Froggy, learning how to use Flexbox properly. You've got a similar one called Grid Gardens, learn how to use Grid properly. We've got Learn Git Branching, where it teaches you how to use GitHub and merge and branch and pull requests. Really, really good stuff. Just Google web-based coding games in your language that you're learning, and there's definitely bound to be a few out there. That's a list of my favorite resources. Let me know in the comments down below if I've missed your favorite resource out. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit that like button down below, and if you'd like to see more, then please subscribe. Hope you all have a good day, and I will catch you later.